Hello everybody, Alex Weaver here in Studio 3 with Zach, Jessica, and Jonathan from NASCAR.com. One of the most exciting races all year is the start of our season with the Daytona 500. We're all looking forward to it, but three guys who have never won the Daytona 500 that I'm surprised about, they're the three active drivers that have won championships in our series. Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Busch. Why has Brad Keselowski, who's so good at restrictor plate racing, not won at Daytona?
He's solid at Talladega. Daytona, he's got to win, but I can't figure it out either. I've been racking my brain about it. He leads active drivers with plate wins. He's arguably one of the best plate racers. Him and Joey Logano are up there toe-to-toe, but the fact that Brad hasn't won that race as good as he is blows my mind. I think with the momentum that Penske carries from last year, and we saw Brad can get hot when he needed to, I think they're going to come out hot in speed weeks. I think he might be one to watch for sure.
And Jessica, with Kyle Busch, he's checked off every single track, but the Daytona 500 is one that he has not checked off of his list. Why?
And then to that same token, he's won a bunch of the crown jewel races of NASCAR. He's won the Brickyard 400, he's swept the Bristol race, and he's won several of those races that are kind of bucket list items for racers. But the Daytona 500 is one that he's not been able to get done. And you know, when you think Kyle Busch, you don't really think restrictor plate racer by any means whatsoever. But I think him not having that Daytona 500 win and that kind of eating away, he wants that on his resume when he retires, and I think he's going to try everything he can to get that done.
I have noticed during the offseason, he's had a little bit of a fire leading up to that Daytona 500. He wants it bad.
Oh, yeah.
And on the plus side, Martin Truex Jr., kind of surprised that he hasn't won Daytona 500 either. Why?
Yeah, and I'm sure that's a motivating factor for him too, you know, similar to what you'd said with Kyle Busch. You know, I'm sure that's one of those things that's on his list, and I think we remember a few years ago when he came oh so close with Denny Hamlin and in that photo finish. So I feel like it's in some ways just a matter of time, as with all three of these guys, in terms of when they break through and how the roll of the dice goes for them.
And I think that we always have Brad Keselowski in our lineups. Is he the one that you guys are all watching for this Daytona 500?
I would say yes, but another thing to add on to Zach's note is Truex doesn't have a restrictor plate win
at all
anywhere. That's just something to also keep your eye on when considering maybe, you know, what we might do when picking these guys to win races. But Brad Keselowski for sure has to be top of the list.
Well, one of the things I'll be looking to see is how Brad Keselowski gels with a new spotter. He'll have Coleman PRESSLEY that'll be, you know, on the spotter stand for him this year, which is a break from you know, longtime spotter Joey MEIER, who was, you know, I don't want to say he was the reason, but I mean, he was an instrumental part in guiding him and being the, you know, voice in his ear to help him to, you know, excel on the restrictor plate track. So I'll be interested to see how that communication in race goes and where they can go from there.
I was going to say, spotting is so key at Daytona, and having a spotter that you trust, that you're used to, that you can pick up anything that they're saying and what they're trying to tell you is so key for that track. And I think with Daytona being the first race out of the year, I think you maybe see some growing pains, maybe, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see Brad, and I think Joey Logano, his teammate, champion, see if he can get that Daytona 500 win. Would be interesting.
Also good at restrictor plate racing. It'll be interesting to see who takes home the checker flag at the Daytona 500. It's America's race on Fox.